So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Hitesh Bhatia. I'm a past life regression therapist. I live in Mumbai. I've born and brought up over here. If you met me 10 years back, I would have said that, listen, healing is all, I mean, it's all bull. There's nothing called healing. There's nothing called life's problems. My conditioning, I'm a Punjabi, I'm a North Indian, and our conditioning was simple. If you have problems, you go to the bar. That's where all life's problems are solved. And if the bar doesn't solve your life problems, then you eat some chicken, you eat some great meal. And then again, I met some interesting friends who told me further on, Hitesh, if life problems don't get solved with food and with alcohol, then you smoke up. And that will take care of everything. I did that for a very long time, hoping for it to work, but it didn't work. And one point of time, it just burst. My restaurants, my business failed. As my businesses failed, I became a stay-at-home father because I didn't know what to do. My wife ran a very successful business. I became a stay-at-home father. With all the learning that I had, no one really taught me how to deal with failure. No one really taught me how to deal with failure. No one really taught me how to go about and understand that if things haven't gone your way, what am I supposed to do? That brought me into the line of alternate healing. I have a dear friend of mine, Anita J, in this room, who was the one who introduced me to the world of alternate healing. You'll probably see her in the chat, and you'll see her name. She's on the screen, and she introduced me to this beautiful world of alternate healing. And she was the one who suggested the name Joining Hands. Anyway, that's a long story. You're not here to talk about my story today. If you want to know my story, send me a message, drop me a ping, and we can talk about that. You're here to listen to Yael. So Yael is from Israel. She's been in the constellation space for a while now. Since 2019, she's been teaching karmic constellations, and she's now dedicated her work to karmic constellations. Of course, she's over the last 2 decades, she's worked with EFT, Reiki, and many other modalities. We met online, and I'm hoping to meet her in person real soon. She's she's a BA in psychology and MA in family studies. And we connected, sometimes you feel you meet people online, but you know them from a really long time. And, it's just how things just start flowing. And Yael and I just connected like that. We just one day connected. And from there, we've always just been talking. And I told her, Yael, it's interesting. I would love to bring you to India someday. And before we knew it, we had a plan in place to bring Yael to India. So we'll talk more about Yael in India and her book and other things in a while. But hi, Yael, good evening and welcome.
Hi, good evening. Thank you. I like being here.
Yeah, I like it too. It's a fun community. It's a group of fun people, and that's what we do. We just catch up together. We have fun. We share stories and we talk. So I have a few questions for you today, maybe 2 or 3 questions, and then we can do, if everyone agrees, we can do a short process. Is everyone okay with that? Quick thumbs up. Is everyone okay with a nice process? Yeah, I think we all like a nice process more than talking. But I would like to understand from you, Yael.
Yeah.
We talk about soul, and in India we talk about Atma.
Yeah.
And we have our concepts of Atma in our Indian mythology. We believe that Atma has no pain. Atma never suffers. It comes into the body. It's like getting into the vehicle, and then when the job of the vehicle is done, it moves on. So we have so many concepts. I think we're all yet trying to discover more aspects of that.
Yeah.
Is it the same for the soul, or is it a different concept when you talk about the soul?
So actually, it's the same concept. I will say that I choose soul, the word soul, because it's like the more common word. There are some places that they don't speak about soul, they speak about spirit. For me, spirit is God. So it's like needing to find this word that everyone can relate to. It's soul. I know that there are cultures that They don't even speak about soul. I don't remember if the Hinduism or the Tibetan Buddhism, or they speak about consciousness. They don't speak about the formation of soul. So the consciousness is the one that like incarnate. So the word soul for me just hold the understanding for everyone of this idea of an energy that incarnates. I believe with you, no pain. The way I see it, the soul is energy. So I also describe it in my book. Imagine the wind. If the wind come and kiss you, you don't feel it, right? Maybe you feel some coldness, but you won't feel it many times. But if a person will come and kiss you, then you feel the lips on your cheek. You feel might be too wetty, might be dry, not pleasant. You have all kinds of sensations. Maybe it's not, you don't like being even being kissed, and you don't like this movement to you. And we need a body in order to feel the kiss and to feel whether it's pleasant or unpleasant to us. You know, maybe you come and kiss me on my cheek and you have beard and I don't like, it's not pleasant for me. So, but I need a body, a soul, and energy. She can't feel that. So the energy of the soul incarnate in a body in order to experience. And I will say not only suffer, not only pain, but also happiness, because maybe you kissed me and it's really pleasant. But I need either the pleasant or the pain. I need a body.
Interesting. Very interesting. So the body, would it be right for me to say that the body is where the feeling is? Or is the feeling in the soul?
The body is where the feelings and the emotional. We actually have the amygdala that is in our body, and she's the one that activates the energies, the feeling and emotions. Like we have the reptilian brain that activates all the physical automation, like, you know, we breathe. We're not thinking about it. There is no consciousness with breathing.
Right.
But we have a reptilian brain that does it for us. So the way I see it, and I come from somatic experiencing, so I'm a trauma therapist. I do believe that the emotions and feeling and sensations are in the body. I don't feel that the soul comes tabula rasa without any experience. She does come with things she had learned. So we do have past life traumas. And the way I see it is when the soul meets the body, whether it's in conception, in the pregnancy, when after the birth, but somewhere in this time, the soul connects the body. She brings the knowledge from past life that this incarnation needed to heal in some way. And then even the memories of past life trauma and feelings and emotions and pain, they come to the body, and we are holding in our body, in our cells, past life memories that actually influence the amygdala, influence the body, all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah, and it's like layers. There isn't like one specific answer that will resolve everything, actually.
Yeah, it's like how you and I were talking before this call. There's no logic to it, right? It's about feeling and experiencing it.
Yes. And also the logic is a human perspective. We are looking for Oh, and we are the one that's looking for cause and effect. Oh, this has happened. This is something I've done. So this is the effect of it. We are the one that's looking for the linearity of time or things. And in the soul realm, there is no linearity. And there are multiple layers of many things that are mind, even my mind, that I'm working on it, really hard to comprehend and really see all those layers.
I think this conversation can go on all night. It's one of my favorite topics. I can see the smiles on the faces of everyone over here. So this you and I can keep talking all night. I just have one question before we go into a process. My learning as a regression therapist taught me that we come from different places and we go to different places. So are all souls, going to a central place?
Oh, in between life?
Yeah.
Great question. I don't really have the answer. I know all the I don't know all the tradition, but I know many traditions. So there is a tradition. Even in Michael Newton books, he's talking about like you develop and then you change, the energy and the colors. And yeah, and in the end, you're like ascendant and you're not coming back here again. And the other point of view of Cryon, which is the magnetic angel of Earth, is we always incarnate. The soul is internal. She was always here, and she will always incarnate because she always wants. So incarnation is about learning, and there are always stuff to learn. So for me, when I do regression, it's not about that.
Okay.
It's not about eventually ascending somewhere somehow.
Interesting. So should we just jump into a process right now and then come back to this? You think that's a good idea?
We can, and or maybe if anyone has questions, or maybe we'll take a question from the audience, one or two, and then go to a process.
I already see one. Vishuddhi, can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
It's an interesting question. The body is a means to experience the soul. Is that what we're saying?
Oh, I look at it a little bit different, but maybe it's semantic. The body is the mean that the soul can experience through. And yes, we are experiencing the soul, but I'll give you a not fun fact. So when I do karmic constellation, so I did a session a few days ago, and this woman in Israel in person, she really wants to get married, and we place. So when I do constellation, I place representation to the soul. It's not me, I'm not my soul. And the soul was looking at marriage, and she said, I don't want that. I want freedom. I don't even care about marriage. And actually my client went out depressed from this session because she wants to get married. So we are sometimes caught in the narrative of our tradition, and Israel and India are quite similar in that. Like we are being raised to get married and have children. So this is the narrative here, and I think it's also the narrative in India still. So not being married is an issue. It's not even a choice, but the soul wanted freedom. She was actually looking at the representation of marriage and say, I don't want that. So how can we express the soul if our wishes are different than the soul? And this is those are issues that I work on in karmic constellation, because the more we are in align with the soul, the easier it is to go through our path. And sometimes our path is, I don't believe in mistake, but sometimes we are not really tuned into our path because we live with the society expectations. And our aim is to become more and more us and let go of society expectations. And it's not so easy. Many times, many places, many peoples, it's harder than it looks like. Yeah.
That's one of the workshops that we've planned for you in India, Yael.
Mhm.
Karmic relationships. And we know so many people in the community who are single, and they're wondering why they're single. Or we have people
Yes.
who've got children and are wondering why my children are single. So the workshop is specifically for karmic relationships.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we have one more question, and this is another interesting one from Nick. How do you differentiate the soul and the higher self? Is it the same thing? For you?
Okay. So it's a good question. For me, I look at it as the same thing. Cryon once said that they are all under the energy of the soul. I guess that if I'll put representation to higher self, soul, and me, I'll get 3 different energies. But I don't work like that. I just put everything in the soul, and I trust that the higher self is in the soul also. I guess there are different energy because the higher self has one state of knowledge and perspective, and it's like the soul contains everything. Yeah.
Interesting. The questions are going to keep coming. Should we take a break and do the process?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good idea.
Okay, but I will say I read something. So for me, as Yael, spirit is like God, and the soul is connected. We are from the creation. So we are a part of spirit. We are part of spirit, but we are also individuals. As Yael, I'm individual and I have one soul that is connected to spirit, but I'm not the whole spirit. And I'm not my whole soul also. Okay, so let's do an exercise. The issue of this webinar, as we advertised, was about the soul potential. So I have a specific exercise for that. I do want to say, okay, so I don't know how many people here never heard about constellations. So I'll guess there are quite people here. When we do constellation work, we work with what we call representations. Representation can be either sticky notes, memo pages, or they can be whatever I found on my desk. I can work with that. Each thing will represent something for me. Let's say I decide this is going to represent me, and this is going to represent my soul, and this is going to represent whatever I'll tell you. So when I'm starting to represent, let's say this is me, I'm putting my hand on it, closing my eyes, take a deep breath. I will guide you, but I want you to know how we work. And I'm noticing what comes up in my body. What comes up meaning, what are my sensations, like pleasant, unpleasant? Do I feel stomach ache, or I had a stomach ache and now I don't have it? Do I breathe or not breathe? I just really, you can scan your body to see what the energy that comes out, the sensations, and then feelings. I love, I hate, I'm sad, I'm glad. What feelings comes out? And then visions. So we are just allowing whatever wants to come up. And we're not starting to analyze it, why this came up and not this. We're just noticing the energies and sensations that comes up. And I will also ask you in this exercise, notice if what you're representing wants to move. So let's say it stands here and you're putting your hands on it and I'm asking, does he want to move? The answer might be no, but the answer might be yes. So then I'm looking, where does he want to move? And maybe he wants to move like that. Great. Now, when it's like that, I want to see the change. Notice the change in the energy. I would really even love to hear one or two of you. How was it for you? And if any questions. Yeah.
I can see some people already wiping their tears.
Mhm.
I think for a lot of people, I did part of the process, but then I realized, no, I had to step out. I couldn't do both. So I had to step out, but I will continue with the recording. A lot of people had questions. A lot of people are new to constellations and were unsure of how it works. Maybe we can explain that later. I saw Nidhi raise her hand. She wanted to share. Nidhi?
Okay. Before the sharing, I'll say for the one that doesn't really know how it works, whatever you did is okay. There isn't a good or bad way to do it. And even if you just listen to me and imagine or thought about it and something shift in your energy within you, that's great. That's the aim of the work and this small exercise. So that's really great. And it's recorded, so you can come back to the recording after and do it, and maybe even do it in your own time and pace. Maybe I was still fast for some of you. I also wanted to be on schedule, so it always like go like that, be faster because you need to the time. Okay, yeah, I'd love to hear Hidai.
Hi, Yael.
Hi.
So it started off at a slow pace, okay? And when I was moving in different, my soul potential and all that, it was not easy to really feel the sensations because uh, it is difficult to represent so many things at one time because you are still on the first and you move on to the second and move on to the third. So that was not very easy and it was difficult to differentiate which position is what sensation. So that was one thing. But by the end of it, it became too intense for me. What seemed very simple, it became too intense. I had a lot of chest pain. Uh, and still it's there, but I don't know from where it was coming. Maybe it was not the blocks. The blocks decided to move out very soon. Okay, it felt like that. What can help? I think that created a lot of intensity for me in the constellation. The constellation became too intense after what can change. It was supposed to be resource energy, but it seemed to make the whole constellation very not sluggish, but too intense, too much of painful. I don't know why that. And it's still there, that energy still exists, but it was powerful, I will say. The process was powerful. Maybe I'm still comprehending of what happened and what it was. One question that is still there in my mind is about the soul potential. So, what we understand from the different works that you've done, that soul is soul. Soul is just energy. Soul doesn't feel anything. Soul has no emotions. It's just pure energy. If it's just pure energy, where is the potential? Potential is about the mind and the body. So what do we mean when we talk about the soul potential?
Okay.
Because it's a mind's construct about having a potential.
Yeah.
It's a projection of the mind. So yeah.
So the soul is it's layers. It's pure energy, and yet she comes to learn. Okay, she chooses to come and be you in a specific area and religion and country or whatever, and she chooses to be me in a specific country and area and religious. So because you want to learn something, you and me, like your soul, my soul, and she wants to learn all kinds of things throughout living as Yael or as Nidai. So there is something that she wants to learn. So fulfillment is not mainly about achieving, oh, I want to be successful. Maybe it is, but also success is very subjective notion. It's about the way, what do me as a soul, which is, again, not Yael, want to learn? And consciousness, the way I see it, is a combination of the soul and the body. So the soul is not just an energy, like neutral energy. It's not. It does have an aiming and wanting to learn. And this is why she incarnates in this state of in this place or in another place. So she's not neutral. And when we represent the soul, there are energies and feeling and sensation that comes. So in many of my constellation, the soul does feel pain and, oh my God, why did I choose this life? And I don't want to see all past trauma. Like, she's very human when you represent her. One of the aiming of constellation is to clean all those energy in order that she can become more neutral. And then we are more aligned with her and she's more aligned with us. And even when you do not past life regression, but between life regression, you learn that the soul is not neutral. But again, it's layers. It's a little bit hard to understand in 5 minutes. Yes, and I do want to say that if you still feel this not pleasant sensation, what you can do is bring a representation for what can support me.
Okay.
Okay, and that probably will help.
Okay. And so just one thing, just so soul potential, we are talking about soul evolution. Basically, how can it help the soul evolve?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. It's a good question. So potential, it can be what you think about potential, what I think about potential. It's like, you're right. It's a word that everyone can interpret in different. Yeah, I just took the word potential and yeah, whatever it is, because I'm not so sure that your potential is what I'm meaning potential, but it doesn't really matter. It's what comes to you in your field.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for this process.
You're welcome. Thank you for
For those
sharing
of
and
you who are-
asking.
There are so many questions that I can already see on the chat. For those of you who messaged me and asked me, where Yale teaches karmic constellations, and let me just pull out the link. Yeah, Yale teaches karmic constellations. I will share the link in the program. It's a hybrid program. It's taught online and then offline also in Mumbai and in India. It's going to be 5 days in Mumbai, and the remainder of the it starts online and then carries on to being in person in Mumbai in India. It starts in May, and then the in-person is in July. I will share the link with you on the chat. The website has all aspects, what all do we cover in the program, and the entire details of that in the chat. And I'm just running a small poll. It would be really nice if you could answer the poll while we take questions and while we get into those answers that have. Sorry. I see a couple of more questions on the chat. Should I ask it on behalf of you? Urvashi said she has no feeling. She couldn't feel anything at any stage.
Okay.
I think that's
So that's okay, especially if you're new to constellation. What I'm curious more about is, even if you don't feel anything, sometimes we do have the pull to move the representations. And when we move the representations, then there is a shift, even if we are not aware to the shift. And I will say, so I'm calling it, so representing is an art. So I call it the art of representation. It's not something that we are used to do. And so sometimes it takes time. And also I'll say that I found out that even for very skilled constellators, when they start representing for themselves, it's also hard. So it's okay if you didn't feel anything. For me, just being in the field, just like noticing what happened is already a step. And it's a matter, sometimes it's a matter of practice. I have a student from India that she was struggling in the first 4 sessions to feel. She didn't feel anything. And then I guided her and she started feeling. So it takes time, and sometimes it takes even specific guidance, but it's okay. This is why I said, if you're not feeling anything, it's okay. It's quite normal. So just see if anything, if like maybe if you start stressed the session and you end it with like you're breathing more in ease, or like happened to Nidai, she was starting okay, but she ended not feeling so good. That's okay. That's movement of the soul. So if something happened like that, even if it was hard for you to represent, that's great. It's like step by step. Yeah. Okay.
Does it mean, Yael, I need help?
Does it feel it? I didn't hear.
Does it mean that she needs more help?
Or get used to it. Again, it's something that it's not always easy at the first time. So yeah, it's maybe you just need to practice.
Have you, maybe you can represent in any other constellation. Would that help, Yael?
Sometimes it helps. Sometimes what's hard is to represent for ourselves. And 1 second. And
Yeah.
sometimes I will say when the issue is a bit overwhelming, it is hard for us to represent for ourselves. It is easier when someone else represents for us. So maybe you can take this exercise and tell a friend, please represent for me. You will be me in this incarnation. You will be my soul, my potential. Like you can take her through this video and ask her to represent for you. And that might be easier.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anybody else has any questions? I saw a few hands up. I'm not sure if I can see them right now.
No hands up. Do you want to ask something from the chat or you can just open your mic? Have any question?
Yeah, I've given them the option to open their mic and
Hello.
yeah, Aditi, hi.
Hi, I just came in a bit late though.
Yes.
Just wanted to understand what will be covered with this with the program in this structure.
What will we do in the Karmic Constellations program here?
Correct.
A lot of things. Okay, so the Zoom workshop, the Zoom learning is every time we meet, we have a subject. It can be I don't remember the curriculum by heart, but it's about learning how to represent, how to facilitate, how to read the field, about the soul, about past life, how to work with the soul and past life. So the online is 3.5 hours. First hour 15, hour and a half. It's theory. And the second part is a session in the middle. So one is the client and all the other represent for her. And by representing, you are also learning. And the in-person are, we just do it like full 1 day with 2, let's say we learn soul lesson and soul contract in the same day. And we also do either in the middle, one is a client and everyone represent, or we have workshops. So when I teach about how to work with the Akashic records, there isn't someone in the middle. You're all doing your own mini sessions. So I'm doing a lot of mini sessions The aim is to help you know how to facilitate karmic constellation. You're also going to get homework. I can tell you that I'm teaching about soul essence, soul contract, the soul, past life, how to work with past life, vows and curses, the Akashic records, about siblings in the soul perspective. I need to remember about how to work with entities and about how to work with soul fragments. So there are lots of things that I'm teaching you. And it's all for you to eventually know how to hold a full session. I'm going to also teach you how to do one-on-one. This will be on the in-person. So I think in the last 2 days, you're going to train of doing session to each other. I think more or less this is the training.
Yeah, I think what we can also do is the website has the entire curriculum, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken. Yeah, we've put everything on
Yes,
the.
yes, we put everything.
Yeah, let me just pull that up. Yep, here it is.
You said something with soul fragmentation also.
Yeah, soul fragment. There
So,
is.
is there a way to bring it back, or does it need to be brought back? Or do we just need to understand where all it's fragmented and leave it there?
No, no, no. The aim of sessions with the soul fragment is to merge the fragment with the soul back. We want to bring them back home. Yes.
Okay. I don't know why one would want to do that, because different fragments may have different representations in the universe already existing.
I don't talk about dimensions. I talk about fragments that are created because of trauma.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not speaking about us in other dimension. I'm speaking about soul fragments. For me, soul fragments are when parts of us splitted from the soul because of trauma. We want to bring them back to the soul.
Okay, the trauma elements. Okay.
Yeah.
And what about soul contracts? Are you
Yeah.
going to teach,
I
loosening
teach
them or releasing them?
Okay, we are on time. I do teach soul contracts. And whatever the contract need, it's more complicated than either just release them or change them. It really depends with whom we have the contract. But I do teach that.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And any price that is mentioned also?
Aditi, can you share your number with us, and somebody from our team will get in touch with you with all the details?
Oh, sure. I'll do.
Yeah, I've just sent you a message. You can just share your number with us, and we'll have someone get in touch with you with the dates and the details of the program.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Nick, you had a question, and then
Rajashekar, we'll take the last 2 questions. Nick and Raj.
yes.
Hey, thank you, Hitesh. Thank you, Yael. It was a wonderful experience for me going through these elements. Since I was part of some of the constellation, I was able to move ahead with the different elements. And definitely in the end, it did help me in finding out the answer for the blocks which I was having to reach out to the soul potential. Thanks a lot for that. I have one follow-up questions. We say that at a soul level, we are one and the same. Do you agree with that, Yael, or do you have a different perspective on that?
On the soul level, we are one. We are God.
Okay,
or
so
creator, whatever.
Absolutely. So there is only one, right? The whatever we call it as in India, Paramatma or the bigger soul. Okay. My question on that is why in that case the soul comes to earth to experience in the physical form in billions? Because we are around like 7.5 billion people on the earth. If we say that the soul at an overall level is one, why it comes in different fragments in different parts where we have billion souls on the earth going through experience in the physical form, and then so many we see similar or somebody are lagging, somebody's moving fast, somebody's on par. So I'm curious to know what happens.
I'll tell you something. Let's say you and I are one soul that has splitted. Okay, so she incarnated as Yael and incarnated as Nick. And first of all, you're a man, I'm a woman. We experience different things in the same time. But even though, like, or even if I'll take two people in India and they both read Dying to Be Me, okay, for Anita Moorjani. Each one, because of the way they were raised and with their culture, and even if they're both live in Mumbai and they're both men, okay, when they read Dying to Be Me, for each one, it's resonate different. And the differences is something that only in a human perspective you can have. The soul cannot have it. So the soul can read this book of Dying to Be Me, and it stays in the intellectual knowledge. But when she comes into a form of person and read that, then she experienced the book. And this is why she incarnate again and again. And probably this is why we have 7 billions. There are all kinds of questions that I don't know how to answer. I don't have the answer to them, but one doesn't experience that, one doesn't have different experience, but many have different experience. And this is one of the reasons that the soul splits and the spirit splitted to many souls in various places. I hope that answers your question.
Yep. Yep. At least that sets the thought process moving.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you. And we have the
welcome.
last question from Nick.
Nick.
Yes, thank you very much, Yael and Hitesh. I wanted to know if it's true to say that karmic constellation helps you to reveal whatever conditioning you've been through as a human being by working with the soul. And doing that, it helps you to reveal the conditioning that you have while living on Earth that makes you different from your soul. And while you read that, then you can reconnect or realign with your soul. Is it true to say something like that?
What do you mean by conditioning?
Conditioning is right, wrong, the rules, the beliefs, everything that we get from our education and living on this planet. Basically.
I don't know. I don't work with that.
Okay.
I'll tell you with what I do work. So someone comes to me, let's say, and said, I have issue with money. Okay. I'm not earning enough. So for me, I'm seeking to what happened in what is his soul lesson? What does the soul wanted to learn? What happened in past life? What is the trauma that prevent him to earn the way, let's say, the potential he can? I'm more seeking for that, and many times, so it's less about the here and now and the conditioning and family constellation. It's more about past life perspective and soul we wanting to learn something. So today I had a session. She brought her and her mother, so I brought soul contract, and what we found out that in a previous lifetime, in a different lifetime, her mom was a slave owners, and what she did to her, she was a child, not her child, and she cut her tongue and her vagina. So, and they were like abusive. She was a slave. So in this lifetime, she and her mom, she can't see her mom as present, and her mom can't see her at present because they are entangled in a past life when her mom was her slave owner and she was a slave.
Hmm.
So I'm unentangling
All right.
this connection in order that in this lifetime she can be herself and not this past life that is actually shadowing her and not helping her and not helping her to be her. So it's like unentangled from the past life. See what brought me here. See the soul contract. Reframing the soul contract. We cannot release soul contract with our parents. They will be our parents until we'll die. But we can reframe, we can change the energy within it, we can clean energies from it in order that we can be more us and see our parents as they are and not as they're shadowed by their past life, and we are not shadowed by our past life.
Okay.
So this is more the way I work.
All right. So does that mean, because when you were talking about the content of the curriculum, it made me think a lot about what we learn in TASO. So the next question is, if you do TASO, does that give you an advantage to follow your curriculum because of the concept and things that you learn? Because it seems the way you were describing the content of your curriculum is very similar to many things that we do in TASO, or we learn in TASO in terms of soul, past lives, and so on.
What is TASO?
Sorry, I thought that you knew actually. TASO is the transpersonal regression therapy curriculum from the Netherlands. For past life regression, transpersonal regression therapy. And it seems to be very...
I think it's so I don't know what the curriculum there, but I think probably there will things that will overlap, but you learn to do it without regression. By representing, which is quite different.
Which is very, very interesting, actually, to have the other approach, I think. Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much for your answers.
To add to that, Nick, since I'm also a TASO student and I've understood that I haven't learned karmic, but I've spoken to Yael a couple of times, I think they both complement each other, because a lot of people aren't able to go into past lives. And they come out thinking that I really can't regress, I can't feel anything, I can't see anything. And then constellation really helps over there.
100%. Yeah, I agree.
And I love the way Rosina, my wife, puts it. She says that why would I want to relive the entire trauma sitting in the chair for 3 hours again?
If you have another modality.
I have another option. And she says in constellation, she's also done a lot of past life TASO sessions with my teachers, with Hans and with others. She says, why would I want to sit there for 3 hours and cry and relive the trauma? Of course, there is release at the end of it. But why would I want to do that when I have an option to keep my eyes open? And I really like how she taught me. She says constellations is one of the only healing modalities. I mean, I'm sure there could be other, but that I know of, where you heal with your eyes open.
Yeah.
You don't need to close your eyes. You don't need to run away from it.
And you don't need to go into altered state. And also you can have other to represent for you sometimes.
No, that's very, very interesting. Thank you very much. Thanks, Hitesh.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you. One last question, Shiraz, and then we wrap it up. It's already more. We've been talking for a long time. Yeah, Shiraz, last question.
A quick one, Hitesh. Yael spoke about entanglements with her client's mother. What can we resolve entanglements with people who have passed on? Like my mother has passed on. I had a toxic relationship with her.
Yes, definitely yes. Because even if they passed on, they are in our psyche. So it's like we are dealing with our psyche, and and even if they passed on and continue incarnating to maybe now he's a girl in another place, never mind, the essence of the soul is still there, and what's it's in it for you in your psyche is still there, and this is what we want to change and clean.
Because whilst my mother was living also, and the toxic relationship was there, I continuously told myself, this is not right. There is some background to this, as to why our relationship is so toxic. But I think at that time I didn't know joining hands. I didn't know anything about FCs or anything. So now that you spoke about your client, I'm trying to relate that yes, even at that point, without being aware of anything, there was a deep knowledge that something is awadi.
Yeah.
So it can be done.
And we choose our parents karmically. We choose them. God knows why, but actually only God knows why we choose them. So we can change it with ourselves and heal the part within us that still takes the toxic energy on us.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Yael. You know, we love hosting you. We love seeing you. And we're so excited to get you to India.
Yes, I'm excited also. And I love being here and sharing the knowledge with you all.
Of course, you're coming back to the land of karma.
Yeah.
So Yael is coming back. Yael is coming to India to launch her book on a book tour. She's doing a book tour on, can I talk about it? I'm not.
Yeah, it's going to be published, launching on April 8th. It's called Karma Healing, Unblock Your Life on the Soul Level. And I will say that everyone that will come to my workshops and to be student will get the book in discount. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, and then of course we have 2 amazing workshops that we've planned in India. One is on really karmic relationships. For those of you who are single or wondering why you're stuck with this spouse, that's for you to understand and heal the karmic relationships. And the next one that we're working on is the removing blocks to becoming a successful healer. Now we'll be launching them soon. Thank you once again, Yael. Lots of love. I can't wait to see you in India. And the next webinar, sorry, thank you for pointing out, Nidhi. The next webinar is on the 10th of March. And we're going to be talking more about past lives. And if you have questions about past lives, well, you know where to come back to. On the 10th of March, the event is already live on our website, and you can come register for it. Thank you, Yael. For those of you. Thank you. For those of you who want to repeat the process, or you have questions about the program, or you joined in late, you will get an email from us with a WhatsApp message with the link to the recording by 10 a.m. tomorrow. Is that right, Ashwara? Can that be done by 10 a.m.? So by 10 a.m., you'll get a link to the recording so you can watch the whole session once again. And at the same time, you'll have the link on WhatsApp and on email. My number is on the chat. If you have any questions, if you want to reach out to me for any queries, if you have anything that you'd like to talk about healing, about Yael's program, you can reach out to me. Samir, the session in Pune is at Aurora Towers tomorrow. We start at 5:30. If you're from Pune, please come to meet us. We're in Pune tomorrow. We'd love to meet you. It starts at 5:30. We'll be there till dinner. So we'll be having a lot of fun tomorrow. Yes, Nidhi, we have a recording of Yael's last session. Just drop us a message and we'll share it with you. Yeah, thank you, everyone. I love hosting these sessions. I hope you enjoy having us here, and I look forward to seeing you real soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lots of love to all of you. Thank you, guys. Questions, I'm here to answer. Thank you, Yael. You can log out. Bye. Nidhi, you can ping Binaifa. She has the link. Samir, look forward to seeing you in Pune. Hi, Monica. Hi, Mona. Hi, Shamla, Shamimara, Vimla, Anita, Nidhi. Gabriela, where are you from? I haven't seen you earlier. Thank you, Belle.
Hello, I'm from Romania.
Oh, wow. I love Romania. I was there in 2022 at Fandata. Is that how you say it? Fandata?
Yes.
Yeah, near Transylvania. I have a lot of Romanian friends. I don't know if you know. Do you know Victor Victor?
No, but Victor is a common name here in Romania. What he deals about,
He runs the school for past life regression, Victor Chiria.
Oh, I didn't heard about him. If you can write me the name in the chat
I
and
will.
also your name so I can add you on my Facebook or something.
Yeah, I can.
I arrived to this webinar through Yael actually. I have been participating to other workshops she has had. I know the method, but she's a bit too fast because I like to write things when because it's really helping when you write them.
Yes.
Otherwise you forget, because in the workshop we did you discussed the constellation afterwards, and I have participated to others where, as I told you, we can do A, B, C, D, and everyone can choose what each represents. And then they were doing live constellation with people in blind. And then it's amazing how you see the movements because you cannot control anything. So I was thinking maybe I will mix my papers. I'll close my eyes and display them so I see what comes out, because really it will be interesting like this when you do consciously and you arrange them. It's kind of a control, but like that, maybe it will show some surprises, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
And I wanted to ask you, this course is gonna be only for already formed constellators? You have to have like a basic formation, or you can just dive in?
You can dive in. Everybody, it's open. The way we've designed the program, it's open for everyone. Even if you've not learned constellations, the whole program, that's all our programs. We teach family constellations, business constellations.
I
Anybody can.
love constellations.
And
Anytime soon you come to Romania?
I want to. I was there for the Transylvania Festival 2022 at Fundata, and then of course at Bucharest, and just had lots of fun. I have a lot of friends from Romania.
Yeah, I'm from Constanța, from the Black Sea, so.
Oh wow! I think my friend Oana lives there.
Okay, that will be great if you can put me in touch with her.
I will. I've just sent you out, a hi on Zoom, and then I'm putting my number so you can reach out to me, and
Yeah.
I can connect you with a lot of my friends from there.
And I brought in tonight also my friend from Bulgaria, Eini.
Oh,
Yes, because we have found a lot of openness with you guys in India for past lives. When we mentioned this in our countries to family constellators, they put us down, you know, they they don't believe in these things. And it's frustrating because I don't have solutions for some issues in my life, you know. And when I saw Yaini, I said, okay.
well, just come to India. We have a lot of constellations happening. Join our community. We've got close to 50 constellations happening every week.
Yeah, it's a bit too far for now. But online helps a lot. And I know some Mona recently I met in a workshop, and she was giving so nice explanation about constellations and some of the facilitators. So I'm happy to be part of your online sessions, because we really do not have many.
Yes.
And congratulations to you guys that you do that, and it's really appreciated.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Good to see all of you here. And I hope to see all of you really soon. Thank you and good night. Goodbye, everyone. Have a
Good
lovely
night.
day. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you then.
Bye.